Okay, good evening, audience. It was brought to my attention about last Wednesday or so, that there was a football player that he was ineligible to play in the playoffs because he had like a 1.7 whatever. And Mr. Short, the superintendent, and Mr. Murphy said he couldn't play, which I honor their wishes because they're following school policy. But he also was in target for the WPAL ratings. He was able to play. He wasn't the only one that couldn't have been able to play because there were 7, 8 other McKeesport players that were able to play, and they had lower average than he did. So I met with him with a couple supervisors because I was on the athletic committee, and I questioned with a few questions, and he was sincere to me. And I know he had family problems, and I said, well, I normally don't give a person a second chance, but everybody needs a second chance. So I called around, asking people what do I have to do to try to get him to play. They said, well, policies can be overturned. I said, what do I have to do? They said I needed 5 votes. So I worked Wednesday and Thursday and finally got 6 votes to put him back on that field. I got an email Friday around 11 o'clock in the morning. One of my board members overturned my votes, got them to be overturned, which, if you can't give somebody a chance in life, especially a child that don't have a parent, shame on you. Also, okay, and I was at, okay, if you're gonna follow a policy, I wish the policy would be always followed, and I would follow it too. But in 2014, there was a football coach who came to this board, and he had 4 or 5 players that were ineligible to play. They pulled a straw vote that evening, and all 5 players were able to go onto that field. Okay, if it was good for them 5, why wasn't it good enough for this gentleman? Also, we had a problem this beginning of the year with a basketball coach we had that I say he deceived this board and the taxpayers of Monroeville. But the people that were all gung-ho to get rid of him because he screwed us out of this and screwed us out of that, the one person said, give him another chance. If you could give him a second chance, why can't you give a kid that needs a second chance a chance? Okay, I got one more problem. Last Monday, at Gateway, we had a lockdown because of suspicious men walking around. It wasn't no big deal, but they had to lock down the buildings anyway for safety of our children. We have a dock in the back that has, the food comes in for the cafeteria. The superintendent of the foods and got a hold of one of the administrators in the building, said we have to bring the vegetables in. They opened the damn doors, let the trucks be unloaded. My point is this, are the vegetables more important than goddamn worker? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lapcevich. Mrs. Warning.
First off, I want to congratulate the football team, Coach Hall, his coaching staff. You guys, I have to admit, when we were listening to the coaches, the applicants, I was a little apprehensive in Coach Hall. I mean, everybody that was sitting there, I addressed, my concerns.